Alright guys, what is up? It is PK from PK MMA Picks. I am here to break down, as requested, the Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley boxing match happening here this upcoming Sunday in Cleveland, Ohio, actually, where I live. So, I've had a lot of people ask my opinion on this fight. Currently, Jake Paul is sitting right around a minus 200 favorite, and Tyron Woodley coming back at plus 150, plus 160 underdog, depending where you look. I'm going to make this breakdown video quick, give you my best bet, as well as my opinion on each fighter. So let's start with Jake Paul, actually. I think the biggest question at this point is this guy a real fighter? He has fought a YouTuber, a MMA fighter who is known for his wrestling, and a basketball star. However, I think if you take a look at him, he is extremely committed. He's young. He has a huge weight advantage over all of his opponents. That's going to be including Tyron, but we'll get into that, as well as a reach advantage. And he's been training like an animal over the past 4 years. He has the money and the income to afford proper training camps, nutrition, and really all the resources that he would ever need for any professional fight. So even though he got into the game late, he has now been training boxing for 3 to 4 years. Tyron Woodley on the other side, as we all know, UFC welterweight champion, known for his extraordinary KO power, black belt. you know, Over time in the octagon, he's kind of on a losing stint now. Released from the UFC, and he accepted this fight versus Jake Paul. Congrats to the guy. He's going to get that bag, get that money. However, I think the entire MMA community is on Tyron Woodley, and the misconception is, oh, he's UFC champ, he's going to knock out Jake Paul. Tyron's MMA experience is not going to play nearly as big a factor as people think into this boxing match. That is why these boxers keep getting off just on taking these MMA fighters, going over and just bullying them around inside the boxing ring. They're two completely different things. If you want to determine who the better man is in, a real fight, sure, make it an MMA match. However, boxing is not that. Tyron will not have the opportunity to grind his opponents up against the cage. He can't take down Jake Paul and implement any type of grappling game or submissions. And furthermore, Tyron was really only known for his striking, for his right overhand. That's really it, his right hand. That's it. He doesn't throw in combinations. He's not known as a real high volume striker. Jake Paul is going to out volume him over time. When was the last time Tyron even knocked somebody out? It was 2016. So it's now been close to 5 years since Tyron's even gotten a knockout. Before then, who knows? We talk about him and this magical power that he has, but he hasn't really showcased that any time recently. He just had that banger of a fight against Luque, but we all saw how that ended out. He went out, and sure, he looked good for the first couple of minutes, but then he got caught and he was finished. I really do think a lot of people are saying Jake Paul's being overpriced here, minus 200 versus Tyron Woodley. I think it is a steal, honestly. I think you guys are going to see this weekend. And that is not to say Jake Paul is some sort of world beater. You put him up against any decent professional boxer, and they're going to outclass him. However, Tyron Woodley just started training boxing. It doesn't matter if he went and he trained with Floyd Mayweather for a couple of days for one boxing camp. He doesn't have boxing experience prior to this. He worked in MMA. He never took any boxing matches. So for that reason, Jake Paul has 4 to 5 times, probably even more boxing experience than Tyron Woodley does. He is a much younger guy. He's going to have the longer reach. He's going to be taller and have a weight advantage. Tyron Woodley's not going to have to cut weight. Jake Paul is cutting down to 190. Walks around closer to like 200s. Furthermore, Tyron's older. Like we said, his chin has now been checked. And, I really do think the line is warranted. So for that reason, I am taking Jake Paul minus 200. I honestly think is a solid line. If you guys want to get an even more affordable line than that, there are some crazy heavy favorites on this boxing card that are honestly just going to roll over their opponents. I shouldn't even have to go over them. One in particular that I'm eyeing up on a couple of my parlays is Tommy Fury. I got him earlier in the week at minus 1,200. He's now sitting at minus 1,600 on Bovada. However, you can probably get him at minus 1,200 on other books. But Tommy Fury and Jake Paul pays around close to minus 160. I think that's a steal, honestly. I think you guys are going to see this weekend. In terms of how long I think the fight is going to go, I think Jake can finish it inside the distance if he wants. If Tyron's durability does hold up, I think Jake will get a decision too, because like we talked about, Tyron is not known for being a volume puncher. He has that one big overhand right, and honestly, any legitimate boxing coach is going to see that and teach Jake Paul to defend against it. So, I'm not going to extend this video longer than it needs to be. I really think Jake Paul is going to get it done. I think congrats to Tyron. He's going to get the bag, get his payday. But, I wanted to put this out for you guys that were asking me my thoughts on this matchup and why I'm on this. I see so many MMA experts taking, Tyron Woodley, a dog money. seems like a steal and laying the bank on it. And other people saying, well, it's a fixed match. You got to take Jake Paul. I don't think it's a fixed match. I just think there are several reasons. And, to go over it one more time, the big ones being the height, the reach, the weight, the experience, and the youth are all in favor of Jake Paul. So what does Tyron Woodley have? The power? I don't even know that he has that. I think Jake Paul probably has more power, honestly. He's been practicing boxing longer, so I don't know what advantages Tyron Woodley brings to this fight, but I will be watching it this weekend. I'm curious to see who wins, and I will have a bet on Jake Paul, probably parlayed with Tommy Fury and maybe some other big favorites on this card, because they're essentially gimmies. But looking forward to it. If you guys have any questions, hit me up, PKMMA Picks on Instagram. Hopefully you guys found this betting breakdown interesting, but please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, comment any thoughts, questions, anything like that. I will have UFC, PFL, and LFA this week as well, so really looking forward to it, guys. As always, thanks for the support. PKMMA.